Hi everyone, it's Fletch. We're just having a look at the Freetronics kit, which you've all received now, I think. Just watch out when you're unpacking it. First thing to remember is underneath everything is the instruction booklet, which you definitely need. Plus, up the corner there is the ultrasonic sensor and the USB cable and the Uno board in that little box at the end. Just pull those out. Just be careful when you're pulling things out static electricity wise. Just touch your finger on something metal close to you before you start to play with things, just to make sure that you haven't got any charge on you to discharge into the electronics. Things we need to make sure are there. We've got 4 little switches sitting in this compartment. We've got the IC and LED, the multicoloured one, plus 2 transistors sitting in there somewhere. The other one's gone, but there were 2 little transistors and a potentiometer. So just make sure all the things are in there. So red LEDs, green LEDs, a servo, a sound sensor and a light sensor hidden in there as well, plus the cables, and underneath the cables there's also a little header. It's a flat thing with lots of wires hanging out. And we've got 2 diodes, little black ones on the things there, and sets of resistors. Okay, the things we need to remember from the workshop were with the LED. As you can see, there's a long leg and a short leg. The long leg is called the anode, it's the positive. It's also got a flat side on the actual LED, little flat there. So flat, long, anode, positive. The other one's called a cathode, that's the negative. Just be careful with the LEDs. You connect them up the wrong way, they'll last for about 10 milliseconds and then they won't work anymore. The other thing that we did at the workshop was have a look at resistors, and let's just grab that, turn on the light inside that, and hopefully we'll see. Yep, so we can see the color codes on that one there. We count how many bands are on there, and we see that there is a yellow and a 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. And then we can work out what the resistance is. So it's yellow, purple, black, black, gold. So yellow, purple, black, black, gold. Look in the back of the book. And we see a yellow, purple, black. That's 470. And then there was another black, that's 0, so there's no multiplier for the thing. So it's 470 ohms, and it has got a gold, so it's 5% tolerance, so it's plus or minus 5% of that value. So that's how you can identify your resistors. So there's 3 lots in there, so identify what each of them are. The 470 ohm ones go with the LEDs in the circuits. The next thing is we need to set up the software. Grab the book, start on page 2, and we have to do some reading. First page, just getting started, read through that. You'll see the next few pages just have all the bits and pieces that we've got. Some of the pictures are slightly different, like the potentiometer looks different to the one we've actually got. But it looks like that in the book up the top there, but in reality we ended up with a smaller one that looks like this, but does exactly the same thing. Okay, so software setup, most important thing. Turn to page 7 of the book, and you'll see on page 7 they're setting up the Arduino IDE, so it'll let us do the programming. And the thing is, if we've got Windows 10, we should be right. We'll just go to this site here, up, and then have a look at the instructions here, and grab the IDE for Windows or Mac, the one below it, or Linux, the one under that. And the other thing is, if we're not running Windows 10, so we're running Windows 7 or 8 or whatever, you'll need to get this driver, the USB driver, so that the board is recognized by the operating system. Anyway, you can read through the instructions there. You get stuck, then post up onto Schoolology. If you really get stuck and you haven't got a clue, my phone number and stuff's on the site there, so you or your parents can give me a call and we can go through what needs to be done. And it's pretty easy powering the thing up. So we've got our board. You've got two ways to plug power in. You can plug it into this thing, but we don't have the thing to do that, but otherwise it's just into this little USB socket. So I'll just plug that in without trying to knock the iPhone on the floor. And I'm totally incompetent and can't even plug it in. Goes that way. So once the thing's plugged in, and the other end of course just goes into the USB port on your computer. The thing about it is, especially with Windows, is you need to plug it into the same USB each time once the thing's set up and you've got it working. Okay, so really it's just following the instructions in the booklet. Once you've got the IDE set up, and so you've got your editor for writing your programs in, then you can start on the first one here, which is controlling a LED. Now, one thing we do need to just make sure we've got right is how these breadboards work. So let's just have a look at a breadboard, and you'll see there's one there. And there's some strange things about the breadboard. If you connect into this one here, it's connected to all the ones running down that side. If you connect into the one next to it, it's connected all the way down that way. But if you come into the center bit here, you connect into, say, this one here, they're connected all the way across to the center. But stop there. On the other side, this one here is connected to all the ones across this way. And down this side, top one connected all the way down, all of those. So if I connect it into this hole here, or I put the wire into this one a bit further across, it would not matter, because these ones are all joined together that way, and the ones down the side are all joined together right down the side, not just for a little block, but all the way down. This one's called a bus down this side here, and when we put power onto this thing here, then we can pick it up anywhere down that side. So when you're just looking at the first little program and setting up the wiring for it, is you can see the blue one comes out up onto the board here, and then you'll see a little green line running up that way to the LED. That's because they're all joined together. So you could have put the blue thing in the next one up or the next one up from that, and it wouldn't make any difference. You'll see the black one comes up the other side there and across, connects in the end, and then you'll see the green dot, running down this way. And this resistor, one end of it's connected here, which means it's joined to that black wire, and then it goes across and up this way. So once you get the things working, you sort of see what I mean, because what you can do is you could put that black wire in one next to it here, and it still would work fine. It wouldn't matter. You could put it all the way along, anywhere along here, and it would still work because it's connected back along there, and that one's joined into it. Are there any other things we need to know to get started? I don't think so. I think that'll get us going. You do have to do a bit of reading, and so just have a go once you get the IDE set up, typing in some of the code and getting that first blinking LED one to run. It'll automatically run when you first start the computer, but as you remember, we could change the timing on the things and stuff like that. But you know, remember the code here. Once you got the thing working, you can change the delay, so 1000 milliseconds, so that's 1 second flash. Right, high meaning it's on, and 1000 milliseconds, so 1 second. Low, so the thing's off. So if you make it longer on the high, it will stay on longer. So that's what some of you did in the workshop at Thalgara. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Put any questions up, and if you've got any super duper problems and things aren't working, then give us a call. And also I've got my email address, so you can email me directly at that pfletch2@une.edu.au. Just say, make the subject eGATS, so I don't miss it with the hundreds of other silly messages I get sent. Radio, thanks a lot, and yeah, get started, and we'll put up some other things on the Freetronics in the next week. Radio, thanks, bye.